Washington challenge. We had 200 years to educate ourselves above the condition, right? So coming up on the conclusion of that is the age of knowledge, the age of knowing. We are transitioning from an age of belief where they gave us stuff to believe in that didn't serve any purpose for us, right? Shout out to our mothers, all the mothers. I'm a matriot, not a patriot. I follow the matriarchy. I'm the chosen one to reiterate the structure of the matriarchy so the women can wake up from the slumber because they more important than anybody else because they the ones that's gonna spark the fire, the light to the new age by them waking up. They mitochondrial resonance is going to cause something called Atlas Shrug. And that's when the earth gonna shake off the parasites.
Listen, and that's what I was talking about Thursday night on that live, is getting rid of them parasites. So in the last segment or section, I forgot, and let me give that shout out. Shout out to Wunam, who came and burned it down last night. She's also a child of the EIME and the IJ. So I want to make sure I give a shout out and salute to those mothers as well, because those are some very powerful forces. So with that, I'm ready to dive back in, Big Rod. So man, this is dope. So okay, where do we go with reclaiming like ownership and sovereignty over Turtle Island from where we are right now?
So right now, we just have to continue to educate the public about what's taking place. And if you pay attention, you will see the transition of power, the old system being dismantled for a new system to emerge. They first have to destroy the old system before the new system power is activated. This is something that's already done. We just have to make public knowledge, because the more tribesmen aware, then the more of us that can stand in our own power, and we change the frequency by becoming our best version of us. And to become our best version of us, we need a sense of remembering who we were. We need to know who upped us upside the head and made us lose our mind, right? So once we get to seeing it, and you have people like us just trying to explain it in the simplest terms as possible, then doing our part is to inform the public, and then we don't have to worry about somebody else's part if we all do our own part, because everybody got a part to play. But some people's part is just bigger than others because they're more qualified than others. And some people's is smaller because they less qualified, but it don't make them less important. Ain't no big eyes and no little U's. It's all about us together waking up saying, no, we do not consent to be controlled and be enslaved in this artificial construct masquerading as our government. It's all about awareness at this point, because it's happening. You just need to be aware to know what's happening.
And that's facts, I say, and that's deep too, because now you said something that to me it kind of relates to. I know a lot of people have been going crazy in a hoopla, in a tizzy over this movie, The Sinners, because of the symbolism, which there was a lot of symbolism in it. So what you just said, does that kind of tie into like the vampires like wanting to, or I should say, needing to be asked to come in? You know what I'm saying? Like, because they couldn't come in without somebody asking them to come in. But to me, that sounds like kind of like they won't give us, or I should say, we don't take our land until we take our land by doing what you just said in regards to us owning and being who and what we are.
So the vampires don't need permission to come in. They need permission to come indoors into an enclosure. But you can bump into one on the street, he don't need your permission to fuck you up.
Yeah, so that sound like them boys, the alphabet boys. Now, in regards to that, I remember we was talking about some good guys are gonna have to pretty much fuck up some bad people. When when you mentioned that, can you kind of like tap into, like, go into it a little bit deeper into regards of like what that looks like, or at least like what that kind of personifies?
It's just what it say. It didn't cut no corners. So we told this story about righteousness versus wickedness, good versus evil. Our whole life, every movie that we seen, we always chose the resistance. We always chose the side of the innocent and the righteous. We rarely ever choose the side of the wicked. That's your nature. Now, they gave us villains and painted them as the righteous. That's called an imposter. He's masquerading as the righteous. They told us Batman was a superhero, but we didn't know he was a schizophrenic having a schizoid episode, and all of his arch enemies was his counter selves that he was fighting all the time. He wasn't roaming the streets of Gotham. He was locked up in Arkham Asylum. But in his mind, he was roaming the streets of Gotham, fighting his alternate identities as the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin. And this is the way that they take stuff and turn it around to confuse us.
Woo! Yeah, that's deep. That's real deep, because now, okay, man, I'm glad you went there. So now, with you saying that, let me ask you this: have you seen the movie X-Men Apocalypse?
With Thanos?
I don't know if that was. I think that was the Avengers with Thanos, because I didn't see that one, but it made so much new noise.
Oh no, X-Men Apocalypse was the one where Magneto was fighting the Egyptian guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. So I would. Did you see that one?
Yep.
Okay, now I talked about that many times on this show too. When I saw that movie, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like they showing some real deal. Like they showing the real deal. With that, what you just said prior to me asking that question, you said it's like them flipping the script and trying to make us think in one way when it's really the other way. They did that with X-Men Apocalypse. They showed, you know what I'm saying, like I feel like a lot of ancient comedic truths, you know, that was going on with what they showed. But the only difference is they made the God out to be the bad guy, you know what I'm saying, that they had to get rid of.
The guy that's always the bad guy they got to get rid of because he come to set the record straight.
Can you tap into what that is and how that relates to what's happening now?
Yeah, I can tell you what go a little more important part of the story.
Let's get it.
When the guy woke up, what was the first thing he need for his power to activate? Do you remember?
It was a transference of consciousness, wasn't it?
He needed a woman. Remember? Go back to the movie. Remember the lady?
Since I've seen it, so I got to watch it again. But I just remember when I watched it, I'm like, yo, they showing some real deal stuff in this movie, like for real.
No male god can have power on Earth until a woman give it to him.
That's sure.
We ruler gods. We're not creator gods.
Yes, sir. And that goes back to even like the royal bloodline or the royalty on the throne. You can't, as a male, we can't sit on the throne without coming through the matriarchal bloodline. Is that correct?
Yeah. The king, the queens make the king.
Sure.
You need a kingmaker.
Yes, sir.
If you don't find the kingmaker, you won't never get to be the king. Right? Isis got to go find the parts of Osiris and put his ass back together in order for Heru to know what his daddy was like to replace the throne. It ain't no secret. It ain't no secret. But the only secret about it is that they got us believing that the men make queens. The men posted, that's patriarchy.
I just finna say it. That goes back to the Vatican and the Papal. That whole.
But under patriarchy, all of their queens been drag queens. Go back and look at their pictures. I ain't making this up. For all the way up to the office of the president, I think only a couple of the presidents actually had a woman for a wife.
Oh, yes, sir. So listen, we're going all the way in. I didn't want to go just to the Barack thing yet. And before we even go into what
Okay, let's go to George H.W. Bush and Big Buddy. They called him Barbara, but his name was Big Buddy when he played football. It ain't no the Statue of Liberty is a drag queen. Gave to us by friends to tell us that we being ran by drag queens that hate women.
Man, listen.
And I don't got no look. I don't care about nobody's personal life. I don't care if you choose to sleep with a hairy ass man in your bed. That ain't got nothing to do with me because I'm not gonna be there. And you can't get me to come because that ain't my lane. Right? But for the people that it is, I don't care. I'm just telling you what they was using to oppress us. They was using cross-dressers to masquerade as matriarchs to trick us into believing that the matriarchs was under some kind of demented rage of power. No, it was all drag queens. It wasn't no women. Look, the flip side of patriarchy is feminism. That's the other side of the coin. Most of your feminine Barbara singing all them, they cross dressers.
Hillary Clinton. What was his name or whatever that thing's name?
Hillary was an actual female, but she was being controlled by the old man Bush.
Okay.
Her CIA code name is Evergreen because her job was transporting minors and cargo containers from all around the world to the Americas. Bill Clinton's CIA code name is the Snowman because he was bringing all that cocaine in Arkansas. Barack Obama his CIA code name is the Jackal. The Jackal is the patron saint of Kenya. He said he was born in Kenya.
Yeah, boy, we definitely got a hot one on our hands tonight, buddy. Yeah, you talking about a block party, boy. We burning it down, man. This is the third one, the 3-peat. So now, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go there. So Barack, because I know about cloning. I know you know about cloning, and I also know that a lot of us, I think, don't take it serious as to how real cloning is. So being a student of Dr. York, me personally, I know that's a real thing. I know how deep it goes. But can you kind of tap into how cloning plays an effect with what we're seeing in this circus that we call the U.S. government and some of their past presidents?
You ever heard of Operation Paperclip?
Yes, sir.
Well, the Third Reich had acquired the scrolls for genetic manipulation that we call cloning. And in this process, after World War II, they went to Brazil and they went to Argentina to set up a breeding program. They call it the Boys from Brazil. The false narrative is that they were cloning little Adolf Hitlers. That's not who they was cloning. They were cloning Akhenaten, who we get Barack Obama from. The Boys from Brazil, they went and made 50 clones of Akhenaten, and most of them they killed doing experiments on them. So it's only a handful of them left, but it's more than one or two. It's like 5 or 6, and they use them as each other's doubles when they going through certain stuff. The cloning of Akhenaten was to deprive Tutankhamun from his right to claim the throne, which is the Boy King. The Boy King came to us as Tupac Amaru, aka the reincarnation of King Tut, who was coming to get his throne. And whenever the one who's the rightful heir is being undermined, they have to call a superior elder to the forefront to give them their shit. I want my shit back. So in the terms of the Orisha, Tupac is my Legba. I'm his Ogun. He opened the path and I'm kicking down the door. Now we can go through some voodoo clues to help you figure it out, right? Haitian Jack told Tupac, and this is a Haitian Jack interview I'm quoting him from. If you do your performance for 22 months, it's going to take 22 years before you see the result. The marker is on the song, I think it's Outlaw with Lil Rah at 11, which gave rise 22 years later to an emperor, Haile Selassie, come to us as Gangsta Nip. When the emperor came and forced the reign of the king, then the emperor got a call on the god. It's the rank. Everybody get a chance to solve the problem until the problem solver get here. So now we come to solve the problem. Tupac said in his jailhouse interview, if you think that I'm a problem, wait till this next dude come.
Yes, sir. And that goes back to, I ain't saying I'm the one who gonna change the world, but I guarantee you I'm gonna be the spark.
I sparked the brain that changed the world.
And boy, when I tell you, we here now. Because it ain't just one brain. It ain't just one.
So they keep asking me about having mercy on these motherfuckers. I got the same mercy they did when they was cutting babies out of women's stomach throughout the South. I got the same amount of mercy they had when they was setting niggas on fire. I got the same amount of mercy they had when they was putting chokeholds on brothers in L.A. When they was shooting them down in the back in Chicago, Detroit, New York, Boston, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas. I got the same amount of mercy for all of them. I got the same amount of mercy for them that they had for us when they was doing that to us. I don't got none. I got the same amount of mercy. If they want me to know what do I want to do with them? Line their ass up. I'm going to pull the guillotine because I want their blood on my hands. Because they didn't got enough sisters' blood, they bloody hands across her face. That native movement ain't no haphazard shit. That's because the one with the bloody hand was trying to conceal the woman's voice. So every time they do something to one of them sisters, in order to let you know that we know who the black hand is, with your black glove saturated with the red blood of the original organic people of the land. Right? I don't got no mercy for them. That's how much mercy I got for them. So when Tupac said he ain't gonna have no mercy, just turn about fair play. I'm gonna feel as bad for you as you felt for me when you had your foot on my neck. It ain't personal. It's just business. It's family business. So I just take family business personal.
Ooh. Yes, sir. Yeah. And shout out to my Pac Shrine. I lit him up earlier, and because I wrote a children's book called Starseeds, and the two children's main characters was Malik and Amaru. One was for Malcolm, and the other one was for Pac. And that's powerful. Like, oh my God, that's powerful, because that goes back to the Dessalines energy.
Yeah, look, my outlaw name is Morpheus Hitler, the bitch nigga cleanser.
Say it again for the people in the back.
My outlaw name is Morpheus Hitler, the bitch nigga cleanser. So we here to get the bitch ass niggas out the game. What Pac tell you when he was all informing us about Death Row East? He say, we just trying to get the imposters out now. We already checkmated their ass 3 years ago. It's 25, 26 years now. They been checkmated. We just had to get the imposters out. The frauds.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we here now. We in tonight, buddy. It's a combination of Ogun and Shango energy in here tonight. Like, this is dope. I knew this was. I swear to God, I felt like this interview was gonna be like the it was like when Pop came home, when Big Suge came and got him out. I felt like this interview was gonna be that, and I swear on everything I love, if it ain't no less than that, because that's what this is. Like, that's what this is.
Look,
like,
it's 5 sisters of the Caulifia. It's 5 sisters of the Caulifia. They all point a bear. All the 5 sisters are pointing a bear. That is your West Coast defenders. Sugar Bear, Big Suge, the Red Bear, right? I'm not in California to know who the other ones are, but they there. They OGs now. They the ones that's telling the YGs, hey, we ain't finna do that dumb shit. You're not gonna go rob no liquor store. We gonna get 1,000 motherfuckers and run up in Nordstrom and hit their ass in the pockets. Make their insurance pay them. Exploit the law and use it to our benefit. So when the Caulifia Queens reconstitute the replica of the Caulifia Castle, we call it the Disney Castle because we don't know that that's the replica that the Spanish Armada bombed into oblivion where Alcatraz is at. So I'm telling it.
Ooh. Yeah, boy. All right. Well, real quick, because we definitely going hot and hard. To take a quick breath because the comments are going crazy. I can't even keep up with that. Shout out to T-Mac 305. I'm gonna bring you up too. Said Chief Pontiac in the building. Yeah, Chief Pontiac definitely in the building and burning it down too. Can you kind of, before we go into like the next phase, because it's a lot. Okay, so can you kind of break down Queen Caulifia and like where California came from, for those who might not know, because I know there's a lot of people on here that do, but a lot of people I'm pretty sure don't know. So can you kind of break down the ties between Queen Caulifia and the state of California?
Queen Caulifia is the matriarch. It was a collection of 5 of them. It wasn't just one. It was 5 Caulifia queens, but the eldest was the senior. She's the one that's on the crest for California from the tribes. And they are the ones who everything west of the Rocky Mountains from Alaska all the way going into Mexico, that's their territory. They champion is Tupac. He always been from the time he was Tupac Amaru all the way back to when he was Tut in Arizona. They war with the Caulifia Queens is given to us as fictional writings, right? So that we won't never believe that the story of Wonder Woman is the story of Caulifia. If you pay attention to the story of Wonder Woman, her sister is a sister. Make it make sense. Her sister is a sister because they wanted to pretend that it was a such thing as a white man. Ain't no such thing as no